What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bitcoin and Markets. My name is Ansel Lindner. Just going to go over this post that I put out yesterday. Make sure you guys are subscribed both here where you're watching and listening to this and on bitcoinandmarkets.com. All right, Bitcoin battling to maintain the breakout. The charts are 1 day old. I will go and take a look at the live chart here as we're going through this, but it really is time to start paying attention to what's going on with the price of Bitcoin. There are some signs of, this is going to be a time for a breakout here in the Bitcoin price. A lot of people waiting on the other side of the fence, I think, are going to be frustrated with not uh, taking that cash that's on the sidelines and getting reinvested into Bitcoin right now. So let's go through this. There's a battle going on in the Bitcoin market. After the futures market opened last night, there was some significant back and forth. It looked like things had calmed down around midnight above 79,000, but shorts came in and hammered the price down. On the last couple posts, I've been talking about the funding rate and about this liquidation level at around 80,000. And if we can break that, then there will be significant more upside behind that because of a short squeeze, both in the futures market and the options market, which we're going to look at here. But you can see what I was talking about. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Um, they're battling up and down here throughout the evening. That was late evening on Sunday. Kind of calmed down, monkey hammered there, calmed down again. Looked like it might start breaking out and, you know, reclaiming some of these previous highs around 79, 80,000, and it got monkey hammered back down. Let's go take a quick look at the live chart. All right, so this is the hourly. This is the 20-hour moving average. We can take that off for now. But you can see we're starting to reclaim some of these highs. I mean, these tops are very, very close. Let's see what they were to the dollar. 79,490 and 79,500. 79,500 is this high. I have talked about the level at 79,650. So that was just above there. And you can see some of these monkey hammers coming down. Price has still drifted even lower down to 76. We're right back to where we were last week. And yeah, it's a little bit frustrating on the price. If we go to the daily and bring up the 20-day moving average, you can see that um, the 20-day moving average is just below the current price at 75,490. And this is now the new level to break. If we zoom out a little bit though, and we can see this higher level up here, 85,000. That's the bottom of this previous stair step that we were on, and that's going to be some significant resistance. But for right now, we're getting some support on the 20-day moving average, and we will see if we can bounce off of that and get back above 80. But right now, 80 is being defended pretty heavily by all the people that are offsides. All right. This is another chart, and you can't see that very well when I zoom in, but this big liquidation level right here is right at 80 to 81K. Again, this is a liquidation level where all of those shorts will be forced buyers. And so usually that acts like a magnet. We will hit that sooner or later, whether that's the rest of this week being Tuesday or next week, that level will remain a magnet for price. So we'll get there sooner or later. Funding rates remain extreme. These have started coming down. I have seen some posts just today showing that these funding rates have now started coming down, but this was 3 standard deviations on the negative side, which is significant. I mean, 3 standard deviations is significant both up and down, but you can see we had to go all the way back to FTX to see similar funding rates. And then before that, COVID. So this is a pretty extreme period. They're currently hitting 3 standard deviations below the mean during a period of rising prices. This is highly unusual behavior. It did happen somewhat similarly. Let's see, where are we looking? In some of these other ones, there were periods of price rising with negative, but not this negative. This is unprecedented this time. Okay, let's continue. Bitcoin weekly RSI and MACD. So going out onto a longer time frame here on the weekly. This breakout is unlike the one in January. So you can see in the January breakout, we didn't quite reach the 20-week moving average. We didn't break out in the RSI, and we didn't break out to positive in the MACD either. Now, my brand of technical analysis is looking at these major indicators that are used by the vast majority of people out there. And even if you use a proprietary indicator, a lot of times they include derivatives of MACD, derivatives of RSI, derivatives of simple moving averages. And so these things are extremely important because that's where everyone's looking. It's a Schelling point type situation. Places on the chart will attract attention, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. But you can see the relation to this line at 85,000. We're crossing above the 20-day moving average or 20-week moving average, now back below it. But really close to that 20-week moving average. Actually, let's go take a look at that. So currently we are about $400 below that 20-week moving average. But again, this weekly candle will not close until Sunday. So we have a long time to get back above that $400 move. We could be much higher. We could be at 80,000 by the end of the week. But yeah, that's the relationship to the 20-week moving average right now. Going back to the post, potential price movement. So I was just looking at the 20-week moving average and what happens when we break back above the 20-week moving average. You can see post FTX, that 20-week was resistance. And then once we broke above it, it actually went up 66% to this next high level. Then pre-ETF launch back in 2024 through early 2023 into 2024, broke the 20-week moving average, and we actually went up 160% with the ETF launch right in the middle of that rise. Here in late 2024 into early 2025, we had a rise of 70%. And then here in the middle of 2025, we had a rise of about 40%. But as you can tell, it's kind of weakening out. Where would I place this? I would say this breakout is a similar construction to this FTX. Just like we looked up back here in the funding rates are most similar to the FTX time, coming out of FTX and going positive. So that's what I would be comparing that to here. Therefore, if we do have a 66% rise from this breakout level, that takes us to 130 or back, to new all-time highs within just a few months' time. We'll see how long that takes us. And that's it for this update, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Follow me on Twitter at Ansel Lindner, and I'll see you guys all on the next one. Bye.